Well, I have with me today Archbishop Eamon Martin from the Archdiocese of Armagh and Primate of all Ireland. Welcome, Archbishop Eamon Martin, to Voice of the Vatican. It's lovely to have you here.
Great to be with you.
Well, Archbishop, from the outside world, Ireland has long been known in terms of the history of the spread of Christianity. It's long been associated with sending zealous and faith-filled men and women, not only throughout Europe, but throughout the globe, to bring the gospel and the good news of Christ and his church. It would seem in the last few decades there's been a seismic shift in terms of almost a tidal wave of secularism and relativism has swept over the Irish culture. I think many people from outside would see things like the referendum last year and same-sex marriage being passed and the constant battle for life that we're seeing here in our land. But there's real signs of hope, and you as a primate would be seeing those signs of hope. And so could you talk about the new shoots that you see, the new evangelization that you see taking part in Ireland at this time?
Okay. Well, first of all, it is true we're living in a very different world, and that just doesn't apply to Ireland. I think that's true of people all over the world. And yet, this is our time. This is a time in which we've been called to witness to the gospel, to try to bring the joy and the hope of the gospel to people all over the world, including here in Ireland. And that's what we try to do. We recognize that Ireland has changed, the people of Ireland have changed, and yet the gospel remains true for all time and for every place and every nation. Here in Ireland, I think we're in a time of transition. I think that many people are struggling to be able to hand on the faith in the face of what you describe as that kind of a tsunami almost of secularism that has swept across us. And yet I'm beginning to see that more and more people are learning to talk about their faith, to speak about their own personal relationship with Jesus, and indeed to witness to what their faith means to them.
And of course, a very significant event that happened recently was the opening of the new seminary here in your Archdiocese of Armagh. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yes, we've just opened Redemptoris Mater seminary, a missionary seminary. As you mentioned earlier, Ireland has a reputation for being a missionary country. Way back in the medieval times, it was Irish missionaries like St. Columbanus and others who went out across Europe to bring the good news. More recently, Irish missionaries went to every part of the world to bring the gospel of Jesus to people who hadn't heard it before. We recognize now, though, that perhaps Ireland itself is in need of mission. So the seminary that we have opened here is to train seminarians who will not only work here in Ireland, but who will also spend some of their time in that mission. It's really a seminary for the new evangelization, for people, perhaps people who have heard the faith, maybe even people who've been baptized but who haven't grown up with their faith, to get an adult understanding of what it means to be Catholic, to be Christian in today's world, and to be confident in their faith. So we now have 16 seminarians in our new seminary. 4 of them are out on mission work and pastoral work this year. The other 12 are here in Dundalk in the Archdiocese of Armagh. I've got great hopes for it, but of course I recognize that we really need to pray for all of these initiatives and endeavors, that the Spirit will be with them to keep them strong and faithful and true.
It's beautiful, Archbishop. And of course, we have the World Meeting of Families to look forward to, a significant event. You've talked a lot about the importance of the domestic church, you know, that the global church really being made up of families, a family of families. Can you talk a little about your hopes for the World Meeting of Families and just the importance of family life?
Yes, we're very excited that Pope Francis has chosen Dublin in Ireland to host the 2018 World Meeting of the Families. So it will be taking place in August 2018, and we're also hoping that Pope Francis himself may be well enough to come and join us. But I think that we don't want to see the World Meeting of the Families as simply a once-off event, you know, like a big extravaganza or celebrity show. It's really a process, and beginning early next year, we will have a program of catechesis for people at all areas of church life to learn about the importance of family in the life of the church, in the life of the world, and as being fundamental to society. Because I really feel that all of us have to speak up for family, speak up for what we understand family to be as that fundamental unit of society, the little church, the school of love, all of those wonderful things which were said about the family during the recent synod. And it's my hope that people, not just in Ireland, but all over the world, will use this time of preparation for World Meeting of the Families as an opportunity for renewal and new life in their own families, to make connections again within the home and outside of the home, perhaps even to people who feel excluded from their family or indeed excluded from the family of the church. Let's reach out to them and make them feel that they are part of us, and it's a wonderful opportunity.
Well, thank you so much, Your Excellency, for sharing those inspiring thoughts and insights and hopes with us here in Voice of the Vatican today.
You're very welcome.